Man, hey, again, I really appreciate you for this is huge for me, man. So
hey man, I'm honored, bro. I'm honored, man. I'm honored.
Good, man. That's good. All right, so we gonna I'm gonna test it real quick. Like I say, and we got about a couple of minutes, and we gonna go ahead and hit it, man. I'm gonna let a couple people join in.
Okay.
All right. Give people time to join in. Whoever gonna join in, give them time, and we gonna get it rolling, man.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, man, how man, like, so the real quick side note, the violence up there in Greensboro, man, has it calmed down? Is it getting worse? Like, is it
so last year we broke a record. We broke a record with 75 homicides.
Wow.
This year, man, we're like 19 under where we were this time last year. So
yeah.
That's a good thing. We all been putting in some work.
Right.
But yeah, man, like it's bad around here, bro.
Yeah.
It's really bad, man. Like
I've heard that.
Yeah, man, for the population, man, like it's really crazy, man. So we're like top 20 in the nation per capita based on your population, man. We
right
top 20, man.
Sheesh, that's tough to hear, man. That's tough to hear.
Yeah, it is, man.
We got a few people joining now, man.
Okay.
As soon as I get about 5 to 10 people in, and more will come, but as soon as I get that many people in, I'm gonna go ahead and start it up.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna open up this. Is that a little distraction or is that okay?
Nah, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Perfectly fine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get it popping, man. Hey, let's get a good show going. All right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
This is the golden rule. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it. Your Bluetooth, the new tennis shoe. We finding new balance. Faith, family, and talents. How we find God around it. Each y'all got the ox now. This your favorite channel. What we on Faith Talk? This a good space to talk. We gon' cross every road if we got a jaywalk. What we on sports now? No, this ain't Sports Center, but ever since Acock, the boy had the sport in him. Man of the house now. What we talking family ties? My dogs won't talk to me. Surely I'm a family guy. You can bring the conversation to me, get it analyzed. Men lie, women lie, the truth should be baptized. Whatever you put into this world is what you getting back. So why you listening in your car, try and sit with that? Why you listening in the gym, try and lift the mat? This is Podcast Improved. Welcome to the Golden Rule. It's golden, baby.
What's happening, folks? It's your boy Eshaw. This is the Golden Rule Podcast. It's a podcast about all things that like-minded people discuss. And today, man, I'm telling you, I got a special guest. This one hits home for me because this guy here, this is a part of the foundation of your boy. So it hits home. It's going to be a great episode, man. This gentleman that I got on, he embodies all of these titles that I'm about to read off to you. all of the characteristics, the traits, and the titles of what I'm about to read off to you, this guy definitely embodies that. First, he's a mentor to countless young men whose life he's impacted in a number of ways for many decades. He's a coach. He's coached football. He's coached basketball. He's coached baseball, to which I was one of his students, one of his people that he coached. He's a father. More importantly, he's a father. He's a son. He's got a daughter named Leasia Williamson, and his son, she's 26, I'm sorry, and his son, Elijah Blackmon, is 13. He's an educator. We'll get into that later. He's a barber instructor. He has a barber school, Prestige Barber College, that we're going to elaborate on later in the show. More importantly, man, he's a community activist. He addresses a lot of disparities within the Black and brown community, specializing in violence prevention within the community, man. So we're going to touch on that as well. And he's also an entrepreneur. He owns a number of businesses, the Gents by Prestige Barbershop. He's also the owner, again, as I mentioned before, of the Prestige Barber College. And he's also an owner of the Urban Renaissance by Prestige Barbershop. Man, it's an honor. It's an honor, a privilege to have this gentleman with me, man. Man, y'all help me introduce Gene Blackmon to the show, man. Gene, what's popping, man?
What's going on?
Man,
I appreciate the introduction, man. I definitely appreciate that, man.
I don't feel like I did good enough, man. How I do?
You did well, bro.
Hey, man, as I said before, man, I know I'm not the only person that echoes this, man, but it's really a privilege for me to have you on here. We're gonna touch base on what you mean to me. But first, man, I want to get right into it, man. I want to get right into it for these people, man, because this is something that definitely needs to be heard. For the people who don't know, I want to start off by all those accolades and all those titles that I just read off, this illustrious life that you've had so far. What led up to it? Who is Gene Blackmon, man? How do we get to this version of Gene Blackmon? Who is it?
Oh man, that's a good question and a tough question to answer. But just to give you a quick rundown, man. Gene Blackmon, middle child. My mom, Deborah Blackmon. She's now Deborah Bailey, but she was Deborah Blackmon at the time that she had me. She was married to my dad, who was Timothy Eugene Blackmon Sr. And of course, I'm Junior. Had an older sister, then me, and then I had a younger brother. Father got locked up at the age of 3, got locked up for robbery. And he did 12 years. So, my mom found herself into that single mom role. Right. She was a single mom of 3. My aunt, which was her sister, was a single mom of 3. And they came together to raise all of us in my grandmother's house off of Bowwood Road in Woodmere Park. Right. I thank God for those 3 women. I was raised by 3 women. I thank God for them. They taught me a lot, but they also allowed mentors and coaches and male figures to be a major part of our lives as well. And I think that's where I got some of my balance, man. Was an athlete, played sports, baseball, football, basketball. That was really my thing. I was really on track for really doing something major in baseball, man. But got into a little trouble at 16. Okay. Just basically, it's a crazy story because I didn't really do anything, but because I was hanging with some guys who was breaking into houses, cars, and businesses. I happened to be with them one day when they got caught by the police. They're asking me questions. I can't tell them anything because I wasn't doing anything with them.
Right.
And because, this white detective had the privilege to charge me, he did. So he charged me with possession of stolen property, larceny, and accessory after the fact. And so now I'm a 16-year-old kid with a criminal record, going to Page. and then like it kind of got crazy from there.
Yeah.
But I think once I hit like 18, I kind of realized, oh, this is crazy. I can't get a job. Nobody wants to hire me,
Right.
because I have theft on my criminal record.
That's right.
And man, I'm about to hit the streets, man. I'm about to see what it is on the streets, man. But I had the opportunity to go to barber school, and it was no looking back from there. So I went to barber school, started doing my thing, and I also realized that me being somewhat influential at that time, I could use my influence to help other young men and women not get caught up and trapped the way that I did. And I think that's where the mentoring really took off, and the coaching.
Right. And it's listening to you talk about these things is bringing back a lot of memories, because I can remember distinctly. And you met me as the thing about it is you knew my family probably before I was born, really, to be honest with you.
I know your family for a
right.
while.
Right. But when I came into the pitch and to the point where I was, starting to play sports, I played basketball, I want to say first for you. And we ain't gonna even talk about the skill set, because we ain't gonna talk about that. But I can
talk about how I used to bust your tail in practice every day.
Man, we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. But I can distinctly remember you telling me, like, always saying, man, Eddie, man, like, bro, don't go this way, bro. I didn't been when you. I can remember you saying, don't go this way. I've been there. Don't go this way, bro. You're a little hothead, bro. If you could just change this about you, you'll be a heck of a player, bro. Like, I can remember you always saying that.
You were extremely athletic. Like you're one of those guys. You were really similar to me. You remind me of myself in a lot of ways. You were really athletic. If you make up a game, you're probably going to compete and do well in it, because you're just that athletic. And that's how I was. But man, like you just that attitude, man. Yeah. That attitude was something, man. I remember being in Pizza Hut, man. I was about to give you the 2-piece at that time.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times you was, yeah.
And you was cutting up, man. But I never gave up on you, man, because I knew that you were going to be great, man. I just didn't know when it was going to, click for you, but I knew you had everything in you, plus the support and the background, because you do come from a good family, even with the struggles. You know what I'm saying? You come from a good family. So I knew it was going to click at some point, just didn't know when.
Yeah. That's why I had to have you on, man, because what we're going to get into, like I say, man, the foundation of who Eddie Shaw is, you're a big part of that, man. And I'm a lot of people are going to see by the end of this episode how much you and I know my mama, she'll tell you, hey, Gene, you my life savior, Gene. Yeah, she'll tell you that. And she ain't, it could have definitely went the opposite way had I not had you, that tutelage in my life. Because you had touched on something real quick, and I want to go back to it for the listeners, man. You had touched and said that your father, he got locked up when you was 3. Well, everybody who know my story, my pops set a great foundation for me early on in life. And he kind of left without getting too deep into it from age, I want to say 8, right before you came into the picture, from about the age 8 to pretty much till I was grown. He not saying he left us, but he was absent. Gotcha. Right. So in you come the first of a couple of male mentors who comes in and literally fills that void. My stepfather being one of them too. But when it comes to sports, that's what me and you related on. Again, man, I remember when I never played baseball ever in life. And you had a baseball team. You're like, hey man, look, I want you to come play with me. I'm like, dude, I don't even like baseball. What is that? I don't even know how to play. Man, when I seen you throw that curveball, bro, I said, bro, I know I can do that. So I remember you literally, we at Pillar Center. And for those who know Greensboro, they know what Pillar Center is. And we up in Penn, and we out there for hours. You literally showing me how to throw a curveball to the point where I threw a curveball. And I pitched. I did it. I pitched shortstop. I did everything, man. First, I ain't never played baseball ever and haven't played since. but I understand the game.
Right.
Because of you, man. And it could have easily, I mean, in Greensboro, it's so easy for young men to go left.
Yeah.
As opposed to going right. And man, you kept me right. Seriously. And it could have got ugly for sure.
Yeah, man. And that was the thing, Eddie. Just trying to keep you busy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was really just trying to keep you busy, man, because the streets, man, the streets was ready to snatch young brothers up, man. Just like that, man. So I just knew I had to keep you busy, bro. And that's what I was doing, man. Any sport that I could keep you in, man. I was trying to, come on.
Yeah.
Let's,
we want to touch on the mentorship part of it as well. And this is just my story. I mean, I can go to 100 cats, my teammates, and they got the same story, man. Gene, man, like you went to some wicked neighborhoods, man, and collected these kids, put them on one team at a gym, at a recreation center across town. And you getting all of us together, man, to play basketball, teaching us how to run plays. I never knew structure in sports until I played for you. I didn't know what a set was. I didn't know. I had no clue. And so did a lot of these kids, man. And I'm talking about some wicked parts of Greensboro, man. You took all of these kids. I remember one time we was at your spot, and man, it had to have been about 15 kids in there, man. And
it was deep.
and we up in there playing the game, eating pizza and stuff like that, man. And you in there just, just mentoring us, man. Look, man, like, hey, this is what it's about. I got all of y'all in here for a reason. We ain't got it was never I never once fought nobody in front of you. You didn't allow that. No fighting amongst each other. We had issues, man. You taught us how to. I'm speaking from my standpoint. You taught us how to conflict resolute. Man, you taught us how to take this violence, take the tone out of it, man, and just talk as gentlemen. Look, I'll never forget, man. You teaching me how to look a man in the eye when you talk to him. Now I got kids now, so the same stuff that you're teaching me. Hey, man, look a man in the eye. You taking you know how grown-ups do. They take their finger and they lift your head up with the chin.
Yep.
I can remember your bro. Like, if you want somebody to take you serious, look him in the eye when you're talking to him. You're a grown man. Stop all this crying, bro. Like, that's the first time I ever got that from a man. I honestly, I really didn't even get that from Pops because I was too young. Pops, you know what I'm saying? Like, he taught, like I said, he set the foundation with the manners and politeness and the rules. But as far as like how to become a man, that started with Gene Blackmon, man. And I know I'm not the only person that feels that way.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
So the impact that you've had on young people's lives, man, that's a big portion. That's a big part of mentorship. Just touch base on that for me, man, as far as like the mentorship that you got going on now. Tell us what you got going on with that.
Well, so right now, excuse me, I'm part of an organization that is called Establishing Safe Cultures. And with Establishing Safe Cultures is violence prevention. Excuse me, bro. It's violence prevention, and we believe that it's kind of two lanes when it comes to addressing violence. One is that there is structural racism present. Like black and brown kids aren't just born killers, but you put anybody in some of the conditions that we're put in on purpose, then you kind of get the results of violence. The second part that we believe is culture is a major issue. Everything that we see here on the radio, TV, movies, whatever, is resolving conflict through violence. So you go from zero to violence. It's no in between. There's no options. And so we wanted to make sure as an organization and as a community, we do our part in shifting the culture, and showing kids how to resolve conflicts, or at least know what the options are whenever you're faced with conflict, and walk through those options before you get the violence.
Right.
I'm not saying violence isn't necessary. Sometimes it is. You have to defend you and your family. But when you have other options, at least walk through the options first.
Absolutely.
So that's what we do with establishing safe cultures. And it's a excuse me, and it's a coalition of community leaders and organizations, who have come together to say, hey, we're gonna address this thing.
Exactly, man. I remember talking with you a little bit about that, brother. You guys, again, you address some of the on the social, personal, like I say, conflict resolution, financial literacy is one of the things you guys teach as well.
Yeah, we do social emotional development. We do personal development. We do conflict resolution and critical thinking. We do kids yoga and fitness. We do kids financial literacy, and we also have a real talk portion where we have people who was in the streets, and then we have mothers who have lost their children to come in and give a real account of what that street life is about versus the glorified version that you may see on Tubi and other movies.
Right. And a lot of that, what you guys are teaching is what we don't have in the Black community. A lot of other cultures have that, and that's how you establish unity within the community, right? So that's a part of the reason I believe why us as a Black people can't really get any agendas solved over this last couple of 100 years is because we don't have programs like this consistently that are, teaching people how to move forward as a people.
Yeah, things are we've been conditioned to not work together.
Sure.
And for any differences, like we can go back to the Willie Lynch letter, and I remember when he was, presenting this to the other slave owners, he was saying, this can last for hundreds, even thousands of years. And so we look at how even today they take every difference that we have and make us not want to work together. So you have the elite Black not wanting to work with the hood Black. You have, the elders scared to work with the youth. You have the youth thinking the elders are corny. You have the hood cats thinking the corporate cats are corny. You know what I'm saying? You got the corporate cats like, I ain't fooling with them. So it's just so divisive, and we do not work together.
Right.
And that's something that, we have to be intentional about, man. But we can't continue to allow white agenda to trick us into not liking each other for our differences.
That's right. I agree with you 100%, man. For the folks who may not know, which is obviously a lot of people that's watching, you guys established this organization that you have. How do the kids actually access it? Like, where do they go? Y'all go to the recreational centers, or do y'all have like a certain spot y'all meet up at?
So right now, what we're actually doing, we're actually doing workshops at the rec centers.
Okay.
We've been doing it all summer long. The contract was 2 at Pillar, 2 at Windsor, 2 at Warnersville, 2 at Glenwood, 1 at Craft Center, 1 at Brown Center. So we're kind of halfway through it right now, but yeah, that's what it is, man. We've partnered with Parks and Rec, and we're doing these workshops at these centers, man. And every center has our information in case someone wants to enroll their kids into.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope, man. That's dope. I love that.
And you can also jump on Establishing Safe Cultures Facebook page and keep up with what we're doing and what we have going on as well. Okay,
that's good, man. And at the end of this, man, when I post when this goes, we'll let everybody know how to contact you as well, just so everybody that's the viewers that may not know, they'll have some contact information for you. Okay. As far as the coaching is concerned, man, are you still coaching right now?
No, man, I can't coach these kids, bro. I've been these kids, man.
Let's talk about it, man.
They not like y'all, man. It's totally different, bro.
What they say? They not like us.
Listen, it's totally different, man. These kids, man, they watch 2 or 3 YouTube channels, man, and a couple YouTube drills, and they think they know more than coaches nowadays, man. So it's different, man. I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it.
Man, I got 2 boys, man, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Gene. I told, and I'm pretty sure you had a similar conversation with your 13-year-old. I told CJ, bruh, I feel sorry for you, my boy, because the women you got to court, whew,
yeah.
Well, hey,
man.
I'm lame to a lot of women out here nowadays because I don't drive an expensive car when I really can afford it, and I don't pop 3, 4, 5 bottles in the club. I'm lame, right? Because I'd rather sit at home and play the video game for a couple hours rather than to go out here in these streets and mess around. I'm lame to some women, a lot of women. My little sister one time told me I was lame. This was years ago. She told me I was lame because I was driving a Chevrolet when I could have afforded a Mercedes. And I was like, bro, that's lame. And I knew right then and there we had it down, man.
Man. And that's the thing, man, because like we try to measure, if somebody is popping based on what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of crazy, man, because none of those things really mean much. And I know for me, at the end of the day, like I still live in the Phillips Avenue area. Like I can go get a crib in other communities, but I'm still in the Phillips Avenue area. But my house is free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to go and get a mortgage somewhere and create another 30 years of debt? Like, why? I'm trying to leave things to my family, when I'm gone,
right.
man. I'm not trying to pile up all the things that mean nothing. You know what I mean? Just to look like something to somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm with you, bro. I guess I'm lame too.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? Look at, like, I've always been like that. I will be honest with you. My pops was like that. Like, pops wasn't rich by any means. And some people measure richness as money. As far as monetary value, he wasn't a rich man, but that man was rich in people. And he was rich in like principles, man. Like, I don't agree with everything a lot of people do. But my pops, man, like, he was a plain guy in the eyes of society, but you couldn't tell me nothing about pops. That guy was a hero, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Then when, like I say, when you came in, you wasn't really flashy like that. You had swag. You had swag, and I always used to be like, man, look, man, if I can just get an ounce of that swag right there, if I can get me some swig at this age, like Gene, man,
hey, look,
I'd be all right, because you had swag.
Hey, bro, that's crazy, because my son, who's 13, look at me and be like, Dad, you ain't got no drip.
Right. Hey, man, listen, man.
I'm like,
hey, look, man. Hey, Elijah. But I will say this, man, and we'll move on to some of your entrepreneurship, man. But I will say, as far as coaching, I know for me, the baseball team and the basketball team were safe places for me. And when people said Gene Blackmon's name, kids used to be like, man, that's safe for us. That's a safe spot. We ain't got to worry about nothing. We didn't have to worry about nothing. Man, I went in the radar. Look, the worst portions of Greensboro, I didn't have to worry about nothing because I knew I was straight, because Gene wasn't the type of person that would bring on that negative energy.
Yeah.
When people said Gene, you know what I'm saying? They was like, that's the basketball coach, man. Like, that's the baseball coach, man. Like, he might jack you up if you do some crazy stuff, but he means well, man. That's what I heard about Gene in Greensboro.
Yeah. Hey, man, I honestly felt obligated, man, because I had that. You know what I'm saying? I had the coaches that were safe places for me, and mentors, and guided me and helped me out in my hard hit days. So I felt obligated, man, to be that for you all. You know what I mean? Coming up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I had to.
Yeah, man. A lot of kids turned out very well because of that, bro. And that has to be said. I got a question for you.
Okay.
And this will be getting into your entrepreneurship.
Okay.
My question is, why a barber college in the worst part on Phillips Avenue, right there in the worst part of the neighborhood? Why? I want to know that, and I'm not asking as a critic. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But why there? And why a barber college?
Yeah. So the first question is, or the first answer is, I believe that we should keep our businesses in the Black community as much as we can.
Yes, sir.
Especially the businesses that are resources. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we, you know, in order to increase the value in our community, we have to stop, you know, shifting our businesses out of the community. Like we have
Yes,
to
sir.
keep them in the community. So I was conscious of that. And, you know, I grew up on Phillips, still live on Phillips. Imagine me being a 10-year-old. You know, I was 10 years old when I first got into barbering.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine me walking up and down Phillips Avenue as a teenager and looking at a barber school and saying, man, here's an opportunity for me to do something. Man, that would have been major for me as a young man.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I wanted to provide that to our community, man. Like, what other schools, you know, other than, you know, after school programs and daycares do we have in that area that's Black owned, where people, you know, people in our community can say, man, I can be that one day. You know, and that's what I wanted to provide in our neighborhood, man.
I'm gonna tell you, something, bro. When I went over to Oklahoma to go to school, bro, you can, if you ask 100 of my partners who was their barber, they gonna tell you that boy Eddie was cold, man, with them blades.
Come on, Eddie.
They gonna tell you,
cut it out.
Hey, they gonna tell you, hey, I'm gonna show, hey, somebody gonna comment in here. They gonna tell you that boy Eddie was cold. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story.
All right.
You ain't lying about that barbering skill. You had the skill, man. Matter of fact, you used to cut our hair. I used to look at that. And I kid you not. The first person who I cut their hair was the guy by the name Jim. Hey, Jim May. What's up, boy? You remember when I bought them? Hey, you remember when I bought them clippers at the corner store? We went to the bus stop. I shaped you up, bro. Your line was fresh and crispy, my boy. when you cut my hair that day, and this is known nationally, but a barber can make a man feel like a new man.
Absolutely.
But when you cut, again, I'm trying to do everything the Gene way. So when you started cutting my hair, bro, I never put down clippers since then. Never.
Word.
And I seen people cut hair before that. But your coach cutting your hair for the free ski? Man, it don't get no better than that, man. It don't get, you guys, hey, when I went to college, I was the man with them blades, boy. I'm telling you.
So, we gotta, I gotta see a cosign on that one, bro.
Oh, for sure. I got you. Matter of fact, my son, when I cut my son CJ hair.
Quiet in the comments, man. I don't see any cosigners right now.
Hold on. When I cut my son CJ hair, I'm gonna send you a picture. Faded and all, my boy. Faded and all.
Now I want you to take him to the shop and then you come home and take pictures with clippers in your hand.
Nah, I'm gonna show the video. You know what I mean? The barber school.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the because I know you got some programs like when people get out of jail and don't they come to your, they can get their license? Tell us about it. Like they can get their barber license at your school and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So that was really like one of the key components, man, to me opening this school. Now, if we back up a little bit, remember I told you I had a criminal background.
That's right.
And not a lot of professions that you can get into with the criminal background. So barbering,
that's right.
Me having the opportunity to go to barber school with that criminal background, allowed me the opportunity to be a professional and to have a career that could take care of me and my family. And so I was appreciative of that, and I knew the importance of it. So I knew that, with the barber school, I had to give people that same second chance.
Right.
and sometimes third and fourth chance.
Right.
So, so yeah, man, I am grateful that the Barber State Board of North Carolina allow men and women to become barbers, even with the criminal background. So I'm grateful for that. And then grateful for the opportunity to be able to have an institution that allows them to come in and take advantage of that.
Man, that's humongous. Again, Phillips Avenue is like a small, obviously, street. It's not a small, but it's a street on Greensboro. But your Prestige barber, your barber college, Prestige, is, you can't miss it, man. Like on Phillips, it's a very important like pillar in the community, man. I know when I used to come back home to visit moms from school, man, like I tried my best to come by there and see. And you was like, I ain't gonna say you were in the infancy stages of like getting it established, but I remember that y'all used to be live, man. Y'all used to be busy, and I tried to come in there, hey Jane, what's up, man? And I hollered at you, man, and I just love what I seen, man. I seen, like I say, man, people who may have had troubled backgrounds, but I really just seen them happy, man, to be making some type of effect and change in people's lives, man, despite their troubled backgrounds, bro. That's huge, man. But you've always, again, man, you always been like that, man. Like, man, just helping people out from a young age, man.
Man, listen, it's problem solving, man. And a lot of times, man, the things that I have started businesses in are things that I needed at some point. And then I realized that other people need it as well. And then I try to figure out, how can I get this to these people? You know what I mean? So yeah, man, like it all started with me being in need.
Man, how old were you when I met you, Gene?
Man, I don't know. I was young as hell.
You had to be in your early 20s, man. Yo, you remember when no, let me tell you how I first met you. But real quick, I know I'm off topic just a smidge, but people gotta hear this. You know how I first met you?
How you first meet me, man?
Bro, I was like 5, maybe 4 or 5. And I remember hearing, so what the heck is that, man? Because at grandma's house, you better not be up at night. You better not be up late at night. So I looked out the window and I'm seeing Brian, Travis, Aaron, and this little dude racing. I'm talking about y'all boys was racing full speed down that hill, bro. I'm like, what the heck is going on, bro? So I went outside. Meek and Lily and them used to sneak outside, right? I'm snitching on y'all right now. And yeah, I'm snitching. And I went outside, bro. I'm literally 4 and 5, and you smoking everybody, bro.
Yeah. Like, I was quick, man.
And then Meek and them was like, Gene, man. So you was, bro, but like, you used to always spit game to the young boy, and Brian and Travis and them was young. I think they're a little younger than you, I believe.
They were younger than me, yep.
But you would always, every time I seen you, and this is before I even comprehended who you were, or, and every time I seen you was always racing with young boys in the hood. Man, come on, man. So, like, I just want to give everybody shed a light on, bro, like, the energy that you always used to bring, man, has always been like that, man. I just wanted to touch base on that. That was my earliest recollection.
My son needs to hear this, man, because like he don't know the athlete that I was, man. So he definitely needs to hear this, man.
Listen, man, I used to stand up on that home plate, and you used to throw that curve, boy, and I'm ducking, and I hear strike. I'm like, hey, man, hold on, man. I said, Gene, teach me how to throw that, bro. But we sit up there for 5 hours. You showed me how to throw that curve, and you showed the 2-seamer. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Let me. I'm off track because I'm getting excited. Come on, man. Let's talk about your barbershops, man. You got 2 of them, and I know you had one of them for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So let's talk about those, man.
So at one point, I actually had 5 popping at one time. Mm-hmm. I had one on Phillips, 2 in the English Street area, and then I had shop downtown, and then I had a beauty salon.
Okay.
But once I opened the school, man, I really kind of shut all that down. Mm-hmm. Kind of sold them all. But what I noticed, man, was that man, it was a lot of dope talent coming out, man, and some of those guys, man, I was like, man, you know, they didn't really fit in a lot of places because the professionalism was starting to go down in a lot of the shops.
Right.
And so, man, I was like, man, I need to go on and bust another shop open, man. So that's when I opened up, you know, Gents by Prestige, opened that up, man. And it was at that time, it was all graduates from Prestige Barber College up in there.
Right.
Yeah, man. And so we were rocking out, man. And one of my nephews, Tevin Whiteside, who was one of the barbers in there, graduated from the barber school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember Tevin.
Okay. So Tevin and I opened up Urban Renaissance by Prestige as well. Okay. It's a little more urban. You know, the young guys really love it in there. Gents by Prestige is a little sophisticated type spot, but you know, it's a balance, man. They're not far from each other, man. So it's kind of like, what's your flavor? You can go to Urban Renaissance or you can go to Gents.
Man, dope, man. I don't think I've been to either one. I think the one I was
I think you came to Prestige Hair Center.
That's right.
I used to have one of those on Phillips Avenue before.
That's right.
At the school, and then I had English Street, you know, Prestige Hair Center as well. Yeah, man.
Everything
Prestige, bro.
That's what, hey, man, and that's what you know, I started my own business, man, and one thing I'm trying to do, man, is like you say, you got everything on the one entity, right? And you can branch off. Prestige, you know, barbershop. You got the, you know, you can branch off, man. So I think that's real dope, man. I think like you say, man, you've always had that entrepreneurship from a young age. Even when I started selling candy bars, man, like, and I started doing that. You remember that? Yeah. Young. My wife, I tell my wife all the time. I tell CJ, bro, you know, I had a job when I was 12. Like, he ain't believe me. He's like, how could you work at 12, Eddie? I'm like, bro, entrepreneur, bro. I was a hustler, man. I had to get out here, man. I had to get out here. You know, and you just be like, hey, man, go make that money, man. As long as you're doing what's right, as long as you ain't doing nothing wrong, man, hey, you get that money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I really, you know, one of the last things I want to touch on with you, man, is why do you, we touched on a couple of these things, man, but I really just, and I know the answer to this, by the way, but this is more so for my kids. Why care so much, man? Why? Community activism is not easy, man. I know you're not into politics a lot, but it's a two-part question. Why are you into community? Like, why does this mean so much to you as far as community activism and helping these kids? I always used to ask myself, Gene, why do you care so much about all these kids, man? Because that's one thing, like, you and another thing you did that I admired as a kid. We wasn't just kids. Like, you literally spent time with all your players. I never understood how you had that much time to do that with each player. You knew my strengths and weaknesses. You knew Daryl's strength and weaknesses. DJ Martin, you knew his strength and weaknesses. Like, every player, like, and you actually spent personal time, like, with these kids. Why?
Man, shit. Man, I don't, you know, it's kind of one of those things, man. God just put certain things in you. And man, like, one of those things, man, is just an extreme amount of love for people. And once again, man, I saw people showing me love in areas where I really needed some love. You know what I mean? Whether it was time, a lesson, or whatever. Sometimes just support, like got my back on something. You know?
Right. Yeah.
I've seen all of those things cause a positive reaction to my life or in my life. And so it was just like I felt obligated to do the same, man. And when you're talking about getting into the advocacy, man, I feel like at certain points in time, certain people have a voice that other people do not have.
That's right.
You know, whether it's because they were famous or popular or because they're articulate or whatever it is, people just are drawn to them. Like certain people just have a voice at certain times in their lives where you can use that voice to gain certain things and benefit yourself, or you can use that voice to speak for people who are less fortunate. And I think that that's what I was kind of sold out to.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of, just being frank, it's a lot of fucked up people out here and a lot of fucked up situations. And
for sure,
you know, somebody like myself, you know, who see what's going on and have the right analysis around what's happening, I have to speak for people who can't speak, or speak for people who people are not listening to. You're not listening to them, but I'm gonna speak for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's bro. I had to do it.
Major.
God called me to it. If I was to just wrap it up in a short phrase, God called me to it, bro.
And you know what? I firmly believe that, because again, that for me, and I'm pretty sure it's for a lot of people, most people who know you, that has been the one consistent thing when people talk about Gene Blackmon. Bro, always looking out for people. Yeah. Bro, always supporting people. Man, he always helping people. If he had $1, man, he gonna give you 95 cents with 2 kids. Like, that's another thing. I never understood that, bro. But I know you're speaking the truth.
Yeah, and it sounds crazy, but because I sow seeds in the people who are more fucked up than me, and when it comes to like my daughter, my child, and just being taken care of in general, man, things have always come my way from people who were better off than me. You know what I'm saying? So that cycle always came around, man.
See, that right there, what you just said, that's the Golden Rule podcast. What you put in the life is what you will get out of it, man. I teach my kids that. Like, I live life by that. Everybody who know me know what you put in this life is what you're gonna get out of it. If you take care of people, you're gonna be taken care of, bro. Yeah. That's why I say I'm not rich. When it comes to, like, when I say I'm rich, because I'm rich, but it ain't got nothing to do with monetary value. Like, I'm rich in people, man. I'm rich in spirit. I'm rich in principles, morals. And that's what I got from Gene Blackmon, man. That you helped start that for real. And
I appreciate that, bro.
You know, I know it's a lot of guys that feel the same way I do, man. Man, I'm about to close this up in a little bit, man. But before I do, because I can't let you go yet, Jolly. Tell the people, man, what you got coming up, man. What I just shared one of your posts. You wanna real quick elaborate on that real quick?
Which one?
You got a man, you're gonna make me go back here. I just shared it. You just shared something earlier. Like an event that you got for the kids. If I want to say it's tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, Sunday.
Well, no, so no, it's actually so what I shared earlier, that's called a check-in. It's a men's fellowship.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, man, we really don't have outlets, man, where we can really be free, man, and be ourselves and vent and talk about things that, you know, that are important to us or that bothers us. Like, you know, you can't go home and say, damn, my wife getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if your wife not around, your kids are listening. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be transparent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you know, this men's fellowship, which is called the check-in, man, it's where men get an opportunity, man, to actually just be real, man, and get free. And the crazy thing about it, man, is that, like, you start to find out, because there's so many men that's lending advice and thoughts, you start finding out, dang, so I'm not the only one that feel this way, or I'm not the only one that's been through this. Because sometimes, man, we go through stuff, man, and sometimes we think we're alone with it. You know what I mean? So you'll get some advice from some men that has already gone through it. You know what I'm saying? You'll get advice from some men who may have resources or know some resources that will benefit you. It's also a time to reflect. You know, we're real with each other. And we welcome the teenagers as well, because, You know, if you can hear and see some of these things early, it may prevent some pit holes and some pitfalls that you know you may not have to go through.
Well said, brother. Keep that going, because you're right. A lot of guys, I would say most men, go through a lot. But because society has said you're weak if you even think about mentioning or expressing that, we don't. You know what I mean? Well, I'm here to tell you that I've had men in my life who, man, they're gonna express how they feel, and you ain't no punk. Because, and I tell my kids, I tell CJ all the time, bro, you ain't no punk to show emotion.
Exactly.
Ain't no way. I will cry in front of my wife. Do you hear me? I will cry in front of my wife, and I ain't no less of a man to do that. It's as men, we need to express our feelings towards people, to other people, man. Especially like in these outlets that you have, man. I think that's major.
Yeah, man. And to your point, man, like, man, I remember one of our fellowships, because we do it every third Sunday of the month. It's once a month, every third Sunday. And I remember one brother coming in there, man, and he's just quiet. He's listening to everybody, man. And, you know, he walk in, he kind of has a mean mug, and he's listening to everybody. He's listening to everybody. You could just see him softening up, after listening to several men just kind of, talk about things that's going on in their lives, and then everybody lending thoughts and advice. And then you just see him softening up. And then, when it was his time to speak, man, he said, man, I woke up this morning prepared to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? But being here, I just drew strength from y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, bro.
Yeah, that's major, man. I can't say enough about you, man. And I'm sure the people who are most of all the people who are watching think the same thing, man. What you meant to this community, what you meant to me is, like, I can't even put it into words, to be honest with you, man. And my father is my dude, man. That's my hero for real. But
that's what's up.
You one of them ones, man, that you really kept the trajectory of my life in the path, man. And I can speak on many different aspects. As far as sports, you ain't no way in the world you're gonna let me quit anything. That's why if you ask anybody who have ever played any sport with me, to this day, I still play semi-pro football. You can ask anybody, man. Hey, you're gonna have to show E. Shaw who you is. And that's because, bro, I went through some tough times in sports, man. I wasn't quitting, but that's from the foundation that you helped install, man. So, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. And keep like Greensboro, like the community needs you, man. Like Greensboro really needs you. A lot of people love you, man. Like,
I appreciate it.
A lot of people love you. That's part of the reason why you on the show, because a lot of people needed to hear this. Tell people where to contact you at, Gene.
Oh man, so you can reach me on Facebook, Gene Blackmon. If you need anything, you can always inbox me. My cell number is public, so I'm gonna give that out as well. 336-965-1299.
At the public cell phone number.
Hey, I'm a public figure, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
I need to get that. Okay.
But yeah, man. You can also reach me through Establishing Safe Cultures. Any outlets that we have out there, you can reach me as well. Prestige Barber College, 2006 Phillips Avenue, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27405. I'm out here, man. It's not hard. Yeah. Send a bat signal out, man. I'm coming.
Come on, man. Okay. Any any closing remarks? Anything you want to you want to tell your boy? It's okay. It's okay if you want to tell me that I'm one of the best, athletes, the best basketball players that you coach. It's okay, because I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you, Eddie, man. I really had some dope individuals, man, because all of y'all was special in a lot of different ways, even though we all came together to play, to play these sports, and y'all allowed me to coach y'all. But all of y'all were amazing, man. And you were truly gifted. I will say I'm extremely proud of you, man. Like you're like one of those poster childs, man, that I like to put up when I'm talking about, kids who you may struggle with in the beginning, but if you stick with them, you know what I'm saying, you'll see how amazing they really are, because you never know what people are what their challenges are beyond, the time that you have with them. And so you've been an amazing example, man. Like, I'm proud of you, bro. When I saw you make that switch, bro, I mean, man, you made that switch and you just you kept moving with it, man. So just to see you as a family man, a father, a husband, you know what I'm saying, and just doing your part into pouring into the community, man. I'm proud, bro. I'm proud, man. As far as athleticism, man, I look at you, man. I believe I would like in my prime and you in your prime, you would be in trouble, bro.
Jeez.
You would be in trouble in any sport. In any sport, bro.
Well, we gonna take football out. Baseball, you'll get me. I ain't gonna lie. You was cold. You was cold at baseball.
Bro, listen, let me tell you something, man. Football, man, I was an LDB.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I believe
strap all day.
I believe it, man.
Strap all day, man.
I believe it. I definitely believe it. Man, hey, listen, just know we're gonna close it out, man. I can't thank you enough, but just know that what you see here in front of you, man, you had a huge part in that, bro. Along with a lot of other people, but you in particular had a huge a monumental portion in how I came out, man, as a man. A lot of the things I do, I got from you, bro. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you, man. I salute you. And man, I'm definitely gonna have you back on, or you can have me on your show. Don't you got a podcast? A show?
You do, and I'm gonna definitely bring you on. Definitely,
man. Hey, lock me in, man. If you want to win, put E-Shaw in. Lock me in, man. Lock me in.
You told me that 20 years ago.
Yeah, hey, did I tell you that though? Man, hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Man, everything you're doing, man. Like I say, Greensboro is thankful for you, man. They definitely need you in that community, man. So keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate you for coming.
Yes, sir.
And we will chat here soon, my brother. I'm gonna go ahead and do this closing on the show.
Thank you, bro. I'm honored, man. And once again, I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing your thing.
I appreciate you,
having
man.
Me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. Well, y'all seen it there, man. We finna close out. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. That was a special episode for me. Y'all, the people who are still here and who have chimed in, and I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know how much that means to me for y'all to support me, man. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube if you are a member, man. So, hey, I appreciate y'all. Y'all be blessed, man. Hey, and always remember, man, what you put into life is what you get out of it, man. Y'all call somebody that y'all haven't talked to in a while. Tell them you love them, man. All right? I'm going to holler at you.
This is the golden rule.